So in this video, I'm going to be going over the best game settings to be using in Fortnite Battle Royale, and I'll be also talking about a few key things you need to have changed in your settings. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? This is Mirko here. I hope you're all having a very good day, and I also hope you're enjoying the new update. And before I get into this video, I just want to say they have done an amazing job with the new update. I feel like every new update they're bringing out, they're just improving the game more and more, and they're just keeping the game more fresh. But I think the map overall is looking even better. I think the visuals are looking amazing, and I just think they're doing a really good job with this game. So let's get straight into the best settings. So as you can see on screen, if you go over to wireless controller, before we go into game settings, you want to check your configuration. So if you go over to configuration, you check that you're on Combat Pro. If you're on standard, which is the default layout, then I'll definitely recommend switching to Combat Pro. The reason why you should do this is because if you're using standard, then you have to press triangle to go to your next piece. And the problem with this is that you can't go to the left pieces, you have to go through the right side, whereas if you're using Combat Pro, you can switch between the previous piece and the next piece, whereas pressing triangle you can only go to the next piece. And if you've got a gun, you know, on the previous piece, you can actually pull that one out, whereas on standard you have to go through all of the right pieces to then get to that left side again, and that's just a really big problem if you're looking to improve on Fortnite. So I'll definitely recommend doing that before you do anything else. So let's go into game settings. So as you can see on screen, the first thing I would recommend doing is looking at your sensitivity. So my sensitivity is 6, and just before I say anything, I would ignore the mouse sensitivity and all of that. That's only if you're using a keyboard and mouse, which you can do on a PS4, but we're not looking at that today. So you go over to wireless sensitivity. There is no, perfect sensitivity, not just for this game, but with other games as well. There is no perfect sensitivity, but what I would recommend, especially with Fortnite, is choosing a higher sensitivity and just seeing if you can adjust to that. The reason being is that you can build quicker when you've got a high sensitivity, and you can build around you much quicker, whereas if you've got a really low sensitivity, you might have a bit of a problem building as fast. Building faster gives you a big advantage in this game compared to other people, so I'll definitely recommend a higher sensitivity than usual. Start off with about 6 and see if you can go any higher from then onwards, and yeah, that's the first tip I think that you need to look at. So let's go over to the next setting I'm looking at. The next setting we're going to look at is, it's not a setting that affects you in-game as much, it's just the 60 FPS. I've had a few problems with this, and I've turned it off because I've still got the really old PS4, and I can see that there's problems visually. If you've got a PS4 Pro or PS4 Slim, I'll definitely recommend turning it on and see how it feels. If you notice it's a bit blurry, I'll just turn it off. I mean, it doesn't affect gameplay, it affects more of the visual looks. It can't make you a bad player, basically. It's just more of the look and the feel of the game. If we go over to toggle targeting, you want to keep that off, because if you turn that on, then what that does is that makes it so you have to press L2 to aim, but you also have to press it again to aim back out. So if you keep it off, it's just the usual way, you hold it to aim, and then when you let go, it brings you out of the aim. And if we go over to vibration, this is a default setting that is usually turned on most of the time. So if you haven't messed around with your settings, you've probably got this on. I'll suggest turning it off, mainly because it just causes unnecessary vibration when you're shooting, and it can sort of put your aim off, and you might not notice it, but it can put your aim off. I mean, it just causes unnecessary vibration. When you turn it off, it just feels much more smoother, and I personally feel like I can aim better when I've got it turned off. This is more of a choice. I mean, you can keep it on, but if you turn it off, I think that's more of an advantage than keeping it on personally. Now, obviously, you want to keep aim assist on. I'm not going to go into detail with that because I'm sure a lot of you know you need aim assist. But when we go to reset building choice, now a lot of people will probably have this turned off. I'll suggest turning it on. I'm just going to give an example why. What this does is it makes you pull out a wall all the time when you go to your building mode. For example, if you've been building a base, or you've been basically using a floor or stairs. When you next pull out your building materials, it will make you pull out a wall instead of the materials you were using previously. And if you're in a gunfight and you need to cover, this is why it's good to keep this on, because it will pull a wall out rather than pulling out what you had before. So if you're building floors before, you don't really want to be pulling them out when you're in a gunfight, because, you know, I mean, it won't really do much. And it's always being on the safe side. You know, you can always pull out a wall straight away. It will do that by default. So I'll definitely recommend turning that on, guys, if you haven't got it on already. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is turbo building. So you want to turn this one on. What it does, it helps you build a lot faster than if you had it turned off. So you can actually hold down the build button, which in this case is the R2 button, and it will just build around for you rather than having to keep pressing down the button. So you can move around. For example, if you wanted to build around you move around in a circle, you can just keep the button held down and it will just build around for you, rather than you having to actually press it, and then just keep having to press the button. It sort of just does it for you. You just have to hold the button down and it keeps automatically building, which is a really helpful thing, and it helps you build a lot more faster as well. So the next thing I'm going to go into, which I didn't actually find out till a few days ago, is auto material change. Now this is very, very important, guys. The reason why it's so important is because it just saves a lot of hassle. And what this does is, if you're using wood, for example, you're building a base, say for example, and you run out of wood, it will automatically switch to another material whilst you're building, so you don't have to then look at what materials you've got left and then switch to that material and then build again. It will just, you know, change it whilst you build, and that really can save a lot of time. And, you know, if you're in trouble and you need to build ASAP, then that really helps you. And I've done it a few times when I've run out of wood and it automatically starts building metal, and it just saves you a lot of time, and I'll definitely turn that on, guys. As for controller auto run, the reason why I've got this one off is because it's been causing me a few problems, and sometimes I like to spam the L3 button. I think that habit's from Call of Duty, because I do play Call of Duty quite a lot, and I do feel like sometimes it glitches a bit. Like sometimes when it auto runs and you want to stop and you're trying to shoot someone, it just carries on going, and it can sort of, you know, it can distract you a bit and get you a bit in trouble. So I've just kept that off. If you do want to keep it on, I'll suggest being careful with it, because you don't want it to sort of play up at the wrong time. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Always remember to press triangle to save your settings, otherwise you'll have to do it all over again. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, I'd really appreciate a like, and if you're new, I'll definitely consider subscribing. I hope all of you have a lovely rest of the week, and I'll catch you guys out in another video.
I told you we'd win it, boys.
Mate, I told you, don't fucking give up.
I think that it's best to let it go, but we don't ever leave each other alone. I think that it's best to let it go, we don't ever leave each other alone. Baby, I just think that we should let it go, but we don't ever leave each other alone. Baby, I just think that we should let it go, we don't ever leave each other alone. I think that it's best we let it go. I think we ain't in love anymore. You think you got all of the control, make me feel like I ain't here no more. Bitch, you must be crazy, is you slow? Cause I was there when you ain't had nowhere to go. I was there before you hit the pole, before you get these niggas all the show. Girl, you treated me like I was missing, knowing that there ain't no competition. Gave these bitches to your neighbor sipping, cause they know you with me and so you with him. Tired of fake love from these bitches, but I just need a hug from my mistress. Shawty, you a dub, but I miss it. But shit was what it was, but it isn't. I guess we both ain't ready for commitment. heart ain't been this heavy in a minute. Said it's only right when you let me get in it, but I guess me and you reached a certain limit, girl. I think that it's best to let it go, but we don't ever leave each other alone. I think that it's best to let it go. We don't ever leave each other alone.
Yo, what's good Prestige community? It's Zav or PmHD here. Don't forget to check out the director featured in today's video if you enjoyed it. Sublink is at the top of the description. Check out our previous videos too. Subscribe, stay tuned, stay prestige. Peace.